It's Rahul Rao. Hey, man, hey. Give me your wallet or I will fucking kill you. It was at 2 a.m. on October 19th, 2014, and as I was staring at the gun pointed at me, I knew that despite only being 2 hours in, it was going to be the shittiest birthday ever. The start of the night didn't foreshadow how crappy it would end. A group of my friends from law school decided that we would bring in my birthday with some karaoke. After several hours of songs, including my rendition of Forgot About Dre, we called it quits. Unfortunately for me, I was still restless, which is when I came up with the brilliant decision to cap off my night at a strip club. Ooh, 2 stripper stories. Ooh, fun. Now, I am no stranger to the distinct smell of alcohol mixed with baby oil and glitter. However, this was my first time at a Houston strip club, right? So instead of heading out of the way to use a Banks drive-thru, I decided to use a freestanding ATM on Westheimer that was located down the street from the club. My first mistake. The ATM was located at the edge of an open parking lot near the street, and I saw that the lot was empty, quickly hopped out, withdrew a few $100s for the night shenanigans, and then returned to my car, never thinking that someone could have been watching. Now, I am a very cheap man, so I figured I would have to pay for parking at the club, and because it wasn't that far, I decided to park at my complex and walk. I barely made it outside of my gate when a black car pulls into the parking space along my path. Out hops a man, about 5'7", in his late 30s, what it looks like, and he immediately asked me, "Hey man, do you know where I can buy some weed?" Now, listen, I lived in Austin for 3 years, so that has shaped my views on marijuana, so you know that I'm cool. But at the time, I was an intern with the district attorney's office, so I told him, "Nah man, not the one." And let me be very frank, I'm not about to let a stranger delay me from seeing boobs, so I kept walking. So did he. "Do you live around here?" he asked while following me. I don't think he needed to know that I was yards away from my apartment. I was pretty uncomfortable at this point, and I again mumbled, "Nah," and crossed the street to avoid any further conversation. So did he. Hey man, he pestered while behind me. Now, I am a cute boy. So in my mind, I was thinking that this dude was hitting on me, right? Obviously. And you know, the funny part about it is that he did whip something out. "Hey man," he continued, "give me your wallet or I will fucking kill you." So I looked at him with a blank stare on my face. I was very unsure of what I had just heard. I couldn't possibly be getting robbed. While the night was late, it was only minutes away from the Galleria on a well-lit 2-lane street. I am a black man. I am 6 figures in debt to that hateful bitch Sally Mae. I am not your prime target for a big score. My melanin, stocky build, and my credit score gave me a false sense of security while walking around. Now, the unfortunate part of being a black male is that my turtle shell glasses, purple gingham shirt, and boat shoes didn't exactly scream thug life. I thought it was a random encounter. I didn't know then that I was getting jugged. It wouldn't be till much later in my career that I would even know what jugging meant. While the term is uniquely Houston, it is not. The concept is not. Juggings give off the appearance of random thefts, but are in fact the result of individuals staking out banks and ATMs, and then following the person until they have an opportunity to strike. "Give me your wallet, or I will kill you," he repeated, apparently displeased with an awkward pause. He then lifted his shirt and exposed the gun sticking out of his waistband. While staring at the gun, an unnatural calm ran through my nerves that I still can't quite explain. You see, I don't exactly have a poker face. In fact, I was always the first person naked when we used to play strip poker. The reality of it is, I have only known the comfort of a cold steel chair and a styrofoam cup before. But as soon as I saw the gun, I was unshakable. Fight or flight was the first thing that came to my mind. However, boat shoes have terrible traction. My khakis were far too tight, running was not an option. After sizing him up, I saw that he was far shorter and scrawnier than me. In a fair fight, I could have easily taken him, but this was not a fair fight. So I had to rely on my wits. So just relax, I told him as I slowly reached for my wallet. For some inexplicable reason, the lawyer in me kicked in and I began to negotiate with him. I'm going to get my driver's license out first, I told him. He nodded his approval, as if to say, listen, I know I'm a dick for stealing your money at gunpoint, but listen, only a complete asshole would make someone wait in line at the DMV. So, of course, being the rebel that I am, I also took the liberty to grab my bus pass and my Dave & Buster's power card. Listen, I put a lot of time on Fruit Ninja. I worked hard for that shit. I then handed over my wallet to my accoster. And just when I thought our peaceful exchange had formed, a bond, he told me to run or he would shoot me. So awkwardly, I jogged off in my tight-ass khakis until I turned and saw his car driving into the distance. That night, he took 300 fucks. 300 fucks. That night, he took $300 from me, and a large chunk of my pride and sense of security. When I woke up in the morning, I spent the entirety of my birthday sheltered in my apartment, only going outside to get the Tiff's Treats box that my friends had sent me. Best part, on the message it said, sorry you got robbed. So, in many ways, it was in fact the shittiest birthday ever. But at least I didn't have to wait in line at the DMV.